this pyramid will hopefully be very hopeful to you over the course this semester. We're going to apply it here in just a moment. I'm going to give you a fact pattern, and we're going to kind of break up into little sections of the room, just kind of turn and talk to each other, and sort it out. See if you can tell me the hierarchy of the cases. I'm going to give you several different cases. But you think about it, at the bottom of the pyramid, you have the scope of the right. The most important cases identify the constitutional right and tell us what it is. But just identifying the constitutional right in and of itself is not sufficient. I've got to establish a test for determining whether the right has been violated. So I've got to identify the right, then I've got to establish the test to tell me whether or not the right has been violated, and then I've got to develop the contours of that particular right by applying the test to a different set of factual circumstances. Okay? These three pieces are constitutional analysis of these appellate cases from a federal criminal procedure perspective. Some of these cases are going to give us a right and tell us what the right is. You should think of those as seminal cases, the really big ones. Miranda v. Arizona, Messiah v. United States, Katz v. United States. They identify a constitutional right, sending the court down a path that the court had not been down before. Now, the court would say just discovering something that always existed in the law that hadn't been disclosed before, but it was always there. And we'll talk about that this semester. Maybe that's a fiction, maybe that's true, I don't know. But after they identify the right, then they have to develop it. They have to say, okay, here's the test, and this is the way it works. And the frustrating thing about the United States Supreme Court is they're only going to say as much as they have to so that they have the maximum amount of wiggle room later when subsequent cases come up. So they'll just kind of identify the right to the extent that they have to, if they can get a majority to agree as to what the right is. And then they'll slowly but surely begin to define it, and there's no guarantee that they'll define it the way you want them to. But they have phenomenal implications from a law perspective long term. But as we're looking at them, we should ask ourselves with every single case that we read, is this a case that identifies a right? Is this a case that defines the right and establishes the test? Or is this a case that is fleshing out the contours of the right? And some of the cases will try to do more than one thing, and some of them won't. It's what you should do every time you're reading an appellate case in an area of the law that you're interested in. I don't know whether or not this has been shown or discussed with you as a group before. So I want to make certain that you hear it from me, because this is the way lawyers in the real world apply this stuff, and it's the way my mind works. So as you're pulling in a case to tell me why it's important, we'll all agree.